trick or treat, what would it be? I walk alone, I'm everything.
Hi BookTube, it's Missy, and today I'm here to share with you guys my November TBR. Happy Halloween. This is the finished product that I wore tonight for trick-or-treating. I did have a black wig on, and then I put it away because I forgot that I needed to have it in this video. But as you can see, I am a voodoo doll. I was supposed to have pins here that were Q-tips, but I forgot them, and so I do have my burlap stitches though, so everything worked out. Okay, so for my November TBR, there are 3 readathons that I'm looking forward to participating in the month of November. There is a 4th one, but I just saw it right before filming this video. So if I do decide to participate in that readathon, then I will make a TBR right before it takes place. So for the first readathon, it's always going to be the A Year-a-thon readathon. Like always, I will leave the channel link down below, or not channel link, but the Goodreads group down below. Every month there is a new theme. For the month of November, the theme is to read a new to you author, which means read an author that you've never read before. And the challenge is a duology. So I kind of combined those 2 challenges. I have here Nearly Gone and Nearly Found by L. Cosimano. This is a duology. It's a YA thriller. That's all I know about these 2 books, and it's by an author I've never read before, so I'm looking forward to that. If for some reason I get both of these done in the week that the A Year-a-thon readathon takes place, which I never even mentioned, it starts on the 6th and ends on the 12th. So if I get those 2 read, then I will pick up and continue on with Blood and Salt by Kim Liggett. I did start this in October, but I didn't get very far. I only got to page 21, which is chapter 4. This does sound really interesting though, so I'm definitely looking forward to continuing on with this book. The next readathon that I will be taking or participating in, hopefully, is the Nerd. Am I saying it wrong? It's called the Book Nerdathon. This is hosted by the Glittery Book Nerd, which I will leave her channel link down below. She does have a few other booktubers that will be helping her host this readathon for Twitter sprint purposes. It's going to be taking place between November 13th and the 19th. There are 5 challenges. The first challenge is to read a banned book, and I've had this on my list for banned book before, and that is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. This is the 2nd book in the Robert Langdon series. I can't even remember when I put this on my banned book list. It must have been in August, but I never got to it, so perfect timing. I will definitely pick this one up. The next challenge, sorry, the camera is shaking. The next challenge is to read a book that has been on your TBR for too long. Now, I purchased Catacomb, I want to say maybe 2 years ago almost. I started it and I didn't get that far. I am currently on page, let me flip to it, page 55. This is the 3rd and final book in the Asylum trilogy, and there's also a novella, a collection of short story like novellas, and then there is also a prequel to this series that I really want to pick up that talks about Dan Crawford, the actual director of the Asylum, before this series takes place. So I definitely want to read those. Alright, the next challenge is to read a book that came out in 2017, or a 2017 release, same, and that is House of Furies, again by Madeline Rue. This is her latest book. I just got this over the summer by a lovely subscriber, so thank you so much again for sending this to me. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I can't remember if it's a haunted house story, but you can never have enough horror, let me tell you. All right, the fourth challenge is to read a book from your childhood. Now, the only thing that I could think of that I would want to read is Heidi, because I just talked about it in my bookshelf tour part 3, but instead I decided I would pick up Curiosities, or the Cabinet of Curiosities, which is 36 Tales, Brief and Sinister. I was supposed to read this in October. It was part of my TBR. I never got to it. And even though this wasn't around when I was a child, it's still a middle grade collection of short stories that I definitely want to get to. So I'm going to cheat just a little bit and I'm going to read this instead. All right, and the final challenge for the Book Nerdathon is just to read 4 books. So hopefully I can do that. We will see. I will keep my fingers crossed. And the very last readathon that's taking place in the month of November is Tome Topple. I will leave Sam's channel down below. But yeah, she hosts this readathon, and it's all about big books. So the very first challenge is to read more than 1 tome. A tome is 500 pages or more. The readathon will be taking place for 2 weeks at the end of November, so it's going to be from the 17th through the 30th. Hopefully I can get through at least 2 books within that time period. The second challenge is to read a graphic novel, and this is the only challenge that you can use a collection of short stories or an omnibus for. Otherwise, you cannot use that kind of book for this challenge. It has to be a full-length novel that is over 500 pages. But because the category is graphic novel, I can do an omnibus, and this is the entire Death Note omnibus that my husband purchased for me over the summer. I'm definitely looking forward to reading this anime. And yeah, let me know down below how much you loved this. I cannot wait to open up this omnibus. I told you guys in my book haul how lovely the glossy pages are in this edition. I just absolutely love it. All right, the third challenge is to read a tome that is part of a series. Now again, you have seen this several times this year. This is Death Watch by Ari Burke. I keep wanting to pick this up, but it is so large, and this is the perfect time to do it. I missed out on the Tome Topple during the summer. I was going to read it then. Also, I had this for my Hook and Read series. I know I haven't had a sequel to that first video. I will be doing that soon, but I definitely want to pick this one up first. So this is over 500 pages. It's about 527 pages, and this is the first book in a trilogy, which is called the Undertaken Trilogy. All right, so we have 2 more challenges in this readathon. The fourth challenge is to buddy read a tome. I don't have a buddy at the moment, so we will see when we come closer to November if any of my friends want to read a book with me. And then the fifth challenge is to read an adult novel that is over 500 pages, which if you read fantasy, that's very easy. Sometimes you can find a horror novel, especially if it's Stephen King, that is over 500 pages. I am going the Stephen King route, and I'm going to continue with the Dark Tower series with book 6. Currently I'm on, well, no, book 5. I'm currently on book 4 right now, which is, let me show you the book because I have it near me. It's Wizard and Glass. I should be done with this book in the next week or so. I don't have very many pages left, about 150. But the next book in the series is called Wolves of the Kala. I don't own it in the physical copy yet, but I do have it on audio, and it is about 700 pages, I think. So that definitely qualifies for a tome. So I will be reading that in the month of November. And there will be Instagram challenges. I will leave Sam's Instagram link down below. These challenges don't really mean anything. I mean, it's more for fun. You're not winning a prize or a status or anything like that. But those are all of the readathons that I would like to participate in the month. There is a 4th readathon that I talked about in the beginning of this video, and that is the RAMA, which is hosted by the Owlery Books, Elizabeth, over at her channel. I will leave that, or her channel, link down below, along with the Rama's announcement video. I didn't catch the dates on that video, so I have to rewatch it. And there are only 3 challenges, which one was to read 3 books, the other one was to read a book that had RAMA in the title, and I think the 3rd one was to read a book that had fall on the cover. So once I figure out what dates that readathon takes place in, I will decide whether I want to just use the books I already have and then kind of like double up on those 2 readathons, or if they are on different dates, then I'll just make another TBR later on down the line. Yeah, so those are all the books that I want to read for the readathons. I do have 4 books, or excuse me, well, I'm going to say 4 now just in case, that I want to get to in the month as well. Of course, I just talked about this. This is Wizard and Glass. Again, I only have about 150 pages left. The Dark Tower series is so amazing. I can't, you know, gush about it enough. The next book I have here is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I started this book yesterday, and I stayed up until 3 a.m. because I wanted to make sure I had one more book read before the month was over. But alas, I did not finish. I am on page 185. I think I have about 100 pages left to read before this book is done. So if I can get through all of it tonight, that would be great. But that is just, my expectations are really high. If I don't make it, I definitely will have this read in the next 2 days. And that will be then on my TBR for November. The last 2 books I want to definitely get to is Hatchling by Ezekiel Boone. I did start this 2 days ago, and I got to page 15. It does sound really creepy. I thought he would start off right away in Peru, which it kind of did, but then it veered off to another like character who lives in a city, and he's a cop. I don't know where it's going with that, so I kind of wanted to go back to the creepy crawlies, back into Peru. So I put this down so I could pick up My Best Friend's Exorcism because I wanted a scary read. So yeah, I definitely want to finish this book hopefully sometime this week, maybe next week. And then the very last book that I would like to read in November is Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. This was one of my most anticipated reads for October this month that I really wanted to get to, and I picked it up last week meaning to read it. That's why I have, you know, my how many pages I have to read every single day in order to finish, and I just never got to it. So yeah, those are all of the books that I'm planning on trying to get to in the month of November. What books are you looking forward to reading? Let me know down below. Also, because it is Halloween, let me know if you went trick-or-treating with yourself, with your children, if you dressed up. What did you dress up as? Again, I am a voodoo doll. My first time doing this look, and I think it came out pretty well. I had a really hard time with the white. I went and bought a L'Oreal, maybe? It's called like liquid eyeliner paint sticks or something, and it came in white, and I was really excited, but the white didn't come out very well, and so I ended up going over it with cream Halloween paint, and it's still really smudged. So my button look didn't come out very well, but the rest of it came out fine. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I will talk to you soon. Bye!